In this series of videos, we're talking a lot about how to become a resident in the United States, and we needed to do a video about how to become a resident after winning asylum. In our office, we do a lot of asylum cases, represent a lot of people from all over the world and all over Latin America. We've had a lot of people from South America in the last several years win asylum, and we're in the middle of the process of helping many of them become residents in the United States, and so we've been able to acquire a lot of experience with this particular process. This process is interesting because there's changes in this area. Prior to just a few months ago, the person who won asylum had to wait for more than 1 year. So a year after they won their asylum, the decision was made by the USCIS officer or by the immigration judge. 1 year had to go by. Then they could have the opportunity to send their residency application. They had a green light to send it. Now things have changed a little bit, and they can send their residency application after winning asylum kind of at any point. But the little caveat or asterisk there is that by the time the immigration officer is to adjudicate or decide whether to approve the residency application, 1 year will have had to have gone by between winning the case and then that decision, right? So it's important to be able to look at timing. Different offices at USCIS have different timing and different estimates of how long things are taking. Some residency applications in some offices are taking years. It could be 2-3 years. Other categories, there's a shorter amount of time, and sometimes it varies. Sometimes the estimate will be 3 years, but then suddenly in 6 months you're approved, and things like that happen. So that's one of the reasons why it's important to work with an attorney after winning asylum to help determine the best timing to send that application after winning your asylum case. Another reason why it's important to work with attorneys is that sometimes in these processes, the asylum process, there's been a lot of questions raised about the validity of the claim, maybe some criminal history, maybe credibility, different things. And so it's important to make sure that all those things are covered and taken care of for this next process, which is the application to become a resident in the United States. Sometimes people win asylum and then they petition for their family members later, and we have to look at those circumstances and those steps as well. Another big reason why it's important to work with attorneys in this process and other processes is attorneys are licensed and they are governed by a body in their state, the state bar, right? Our attorneys will have malpractice insurance, things like that to give protections to a consumer or to an immigrant, to a client. Oftentimes in this process, people will try to save a little bit of money and go work with somebody that's not actually an attorney to engage with this legal process, and that can cause problems in their circumstances. And so it's important to work with an attorney. I've seen it for years and years and years, and you talk to any immigration attorney, and every immigration attorney I've ever met during my career has stories about how clients tried to take a shortcut, tried to save some money, worked with somebody that wasn't an attorney, and got themselves into trouble. It doesn't happen to everybody, but it happens frequently enough that you won't come across an immigration attorney that doesn't have a story like that. So it's important to look at somebody who can help with this process after winning asylum to become a resident in the United States who's had a lot of experience with it. We're going to leave a lot of links here in the description below about residency, about asylum, about the changes in the laws, and also how to contact us to help in this process. And as I said, we have many clients in this process right now. We have many clients who have their green card and won asylum and then became residents in the United States. And so we have the experience we need to be able to help you or somebody you know who's in this process of becoming a permanent resident in this country after having won asylum.